This is what they call the Hill House. This house was built here in Buffalo Gap in 1882. Alright, this is the Taylor County Courthouse, built in 1879 and then opened in March of 1880. This was the first courthouse in Taylor County. Upstairs, the main cell had enough beds to hold 12 prisoners, and we'll go in there and see that there's a smaller cell at the top of the stairs, and that was reserved for the dangerous or violent criminals. After the county seat was moved to Abilene in 1883, this building was sold and made into a two-story home. So apparently this was the smaller cell that was reserved for the dangerous or violent criminals. You can still see all the writing on the wall. I don't know if you can see it here on the camera, but lots of writing here on the walls. Here's a neat little cannon. This is the courthouse. And off to the right, that's where the jury would sit, I guess. This cabin here was built in 1875 as a single-room cabin. Very old right here. In the early 1900s, a lot of doctors would do their work from home or out of the home. And then when going on a house call, doctors would carry all their supplies with them so they could mix medicine and so on site. But here we have a lot of tools from back in the day that a doctor would use. To try to help people. This here is more for dentists if you have teeth issues. This building here was originally built in 1922 as a post office, and I believe it was built in Bradshaw, Texas. This right here is the Clyde train depot. originally located in Clyde, Texas, and it cost about $40,000 to build in 1910. This is where you bought your tickets to get on the train. Here's two separate waiting rooms. The separate waiting rooms were a result of the Jim Crow laws, which enforced racial segregation in the southern United States. Here's a bigger one. This smaller waiting room was used to separate people of color from white passengers. This is Cottonwood Flat Schoolhouse. It's a two-room schoolhouse built in the upper 1800s. This building was originally located about 25 miles north of Snyder. Here we have a little one vehicle gas station that was originally in Winters, Texas. This is the Buffalo Gap Chapel, known as the Sweet Church, built in 1902. The walls of the chapel used to be filled with bees, and after failing to get rid of them, the members of the congregation accepted them and divided their honey amongst each other. This is how the nickname the Sweet Church came to be. Here we have a building that was donated by Mac Wilson. He had used this equipment in his own shop for 34 years in the newspaper printing business.